Every time I started creating content, something would happen around month 2 or 3 and I'd find a reason to stop. A new offer to build, a niche to pivot into, or something more reasonable. I told myself I was being smart and I did that 6 times in 1 year. I'm making this video right now because I finally understand why, and I think it has nothing to do with content creation. By the end of this video, you'll know if you've been leaving things a little bit too early or if you're actually waiting for permission to go all in on this one thing that you really want to do. At the beginning of 2025, I bought a course to start building my online coaching business. At the time, my goal was to make money online so that I would never have to go back on cruise ships, as this was my main source of income. And that was the beginning of a couple of months into creating a website, creating an offer, and trying to sell it online with content creation. Around March in 2025, so after a couple of months, I realized, hey, I'm lacking this freedom. I just want to express myself. I just want to be me and to build an audience and not to always try to sell. And so I stopped doing this and I went all in on YouTube for 2 months, where I was posting daily videos. I was just trying to build an audience on there. And that felt really, really aligned. But what happened after 2 months of this is that I thought, hey, I need to be reasonable. I need to think about making an income. I still had some savings at the time, but I was thinking, hey, like, let's be smart. Let's stop being just naive and thinking it will all work out. So I gave up on my content creation journey because the goal was actually to make money. Now looking back, I'm thinking that thinking I was reasonable was just giving up way too early on something that was really meaningful to me. I didn't know it as much as the time because I hadn't done coaching. I hadn't made money online yet, but I didn't feel excited by the coaching. And so I'm realizing now that in that moment when I didn't pursue content creation and I just thought, hey, let's just be reasonable and build a coaching business on the side, I was literally taking other people's belief for mine, and I didn't fully own that I wanted to be a content creator in that moment because I didn't have space to believe that it was possible. I think there was also the belief that, can you really make money from being yourself, from doing what you love, or do you have to grind and suffer like most people who have a job and who hate it? And so after these 2 months of YouTube videos, I decided to get reasonable and to create a coaching offer from that course that I had bought early 2025, and to start helping women who came out of toxic relationships. Very quickly, I realized that it wouldn't work as fast as I thought. And so I pivoted again because I was like, I'm tired of talking about this, but my exes, my past relationships, I don't want my online presence to be just about this. And so I pivoted into helping musicians who wanted to get international opportunities, as I had been doing this. So again, like a month or 2 later, I had pivoted. And this is when I started making money online. And after this, in October, I pivoted again because I thought, this is not aligned with me. I want to build a community business. I want to be the person who hosts the party instead of being the guru, the expert at the top of the mountain. And I also realized I didn't want to help people with music that didn't feel aligned with me. And this is when I started helping creators get their first paying client. This is when I made my first $3,000 online. And I just realized I hated every second of it. So the outreach, the one-on-one, the client delivery calls, I just hated it so much. But the beautiful thing about it is that every single pivot felt like clarity at the time. It felt really good. It felt like I had found more information on what I wanted to do, clarity on what was meant for me and what wasn't, which is what the whole journey was about, really, like self-discovery, way more than business building or entrepreneurship. This part of me that just was being responsible and that wanted a structure, that wanted certainty at the end of the day, certainty that I would be able to make money and stuff. I'm just realizing now that I think it was more of a permission slip to actually do what I wanted to do, like content creation, because I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the guts to actually go for it because it's much harder to predict when you're going to get paid, how you're going to get paid than putting an offer out there. And now it's so silly because after a whole year of this, I'm just like, wow, I stopped every single time I stopped at month 2 or month 3, just before it could actually compound. And so subconsciously, I built this belief in myself that I was not being successful at what I was starting, and that it's been a whole year that I've been trying to build a business, when in reality, I never did things long enough so that they could compound and so that I could succeed at what I was doing. I think the very difficult thing for me is that I have a part of me that just wants to go all in, that wants to do the aligned thing, the exciting thing, because I know deep down it's possible to get paid from this. But then I have another part that tells me I'm unreasonable, I'm childish, I should just be an adult and go and get a job like everyone, and that who am I to think that it's possible to build an audience, to build a business that you love, and to make a lot of money. And I think the only thing now that keeps me up, that keeps me into what I'm doing, is having this dream, having this vision. Since I'm 7 years old, I'm like, oh, I'm going to build something that makes me feel like I can sustain myself financially, and I have freedom to wake up whenever I want. I have freedom to be around who I want to be around, and I have freedom of which ways I want to get money. And I think when you're building something, you tend to really self-identify in the whole thing. Like the outcome represents your self-worth, and that's not super healthy, but I think that's just the way it is. When you pour so much of your soul, of your energy, of your time, of your beliefs, of your identity into something, I think it's unavoidable that it becomes your sense of self in a way. But what I think really beautiful is that I managed to post every single week through all of this uncertainty, all of these doubts, all of this fear. And I think what it means to me really is that when you are meant to do something, when you actually enjoy something, you will do it regardless of the outcome. And when you find that thing, it might be that thing that you want to keep doing for a long time. And I think it's really beautiful to find that thing. And what's also interesting through all of this is that it took me a whole year to find clarity on what I didn't want to do. And I didn't know I would spend a whole year figuring that out. I just hoped I knew a year ago so I could have started building the right thing. But a lot of the time I feel in life, it just takes some back and forth, and you just circle around something, and then you just circle again and you end up in the same spot, but with much more clarity on what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And I think this is really, really valuable. That's also why I love entrepreneurship, and why I think it's so valuable to start a journey like this, even just to get to know yourself, personal development. I think that's the main reason why I started this. Of course, additionally to having the idea of building something that sustains me financially and that I love doing. The biggest thing I'm trying to tell myself is that self-trust gets built not on what you're about to achieve, not on the goal you're having and on whether you're going to get there or not, but by looking at your life, your past, and thinking, okay, did I go through hard things? Did I survive this? Did I manage to find solutions in that moment? And if yes, can I actually trust myself right now to build something without the certainty that it will work, but with the certainty that I'll figure it out if I don't get there? And that's what I'm working on right now. It's not easy because the uncertainty for me comes every single day through fear, doubt, sadness, unmotivation, everything. But I'm still working through it, and I'm still showing up. And this is also when your emotions don't have to control your actions. Like, you can still act despite uncertainty and fear and doubt and difficult emotions. And so for me, the question has never really been, should I do content? Should I do a coaching offer? Should I do a community-based business? I think it has always been, do I give myself permission to go fully on what excites me and accept that I won't know right now if it will work or not, and maybe it will take a long time before I find out, but I'm just going fully on this because I love myself enough, because I trust myself that I'll figure it out, whether it works, whether it doesn't work, and because my life is not infinite, and because I want to achieve certain things in my life or die trying to get to my dreams. So I'd love to know if you have been leaving things a little bit too early, big goals that you've been having. Have you been posting on social media for 3 weeks and gave up because you didn't see any results? Have you tried dating 3 people when you wanted to meet the right person and you knew it was way too early? Like, feel free to let me know in the comments if you've been through this. Or right now, do you need the permission to actually go all in on one thing that you actually want to do? Maybe you already have the clarity. Let me know what you think, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you resonated with this video. Thank you.